Margery Bezel.
Okay, so we're here at out of the Broadway International Festival here. Um, Now briefly spoke about where you're from. Can you tell the people where you're from?
Sure. I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is in the Eastern Caribbean. Just as you go past Puerto Rico, as you keep going, you're going to run into the U.S. Virgin Islands. So that's where I'm from. My parents are from Antigua and Barbuda, which are former British protectorates.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
briefly spoke about CARICOM and CARIFOM. Could you explain the two
Mm-hmm.
and why the U.S. Virgin Islands and or Barbados is not part of those
Mm-hmm.
two movements?
CARICOM, also known as the Caribbean Community, is a collaboration of former British protectorates such as Antigua and Barbuda, Jamaica, um, and other, as I said, former British protectorates. What it's designed to do, not unlike the United Nations, is to create a collective where those countries could leverage their collective power to create change, social change, economic change, change as we would experience it in any social setting. CARIFORUM, now CARICOM, there is a 13 nation entity. There is another, and I know that Barbados, to my knowledge, is not a member, and I don't know the background and history of that, as I mentioned to you earlier. That's definitely something we can delve into and do a little bit of discovery among us. What I do know is for those nations that are members, what they've done is they've created a rotational system in terms of leadership of the administrative heads of government. So they do have heads of government meetings, and those heads of government of the member entities would rotate leadership of the organizational, of that oversight organizational entity. CARIFORUM is, if you will, an offshoot of CARICOM. The members of that organization, its mandate and things of that nature. Again, we will have to explore that because that's not an area of expertise for me. What I can tell you is countries like the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico are not eligible to be members of CARICOM because we are U.S. protectorates. So we do not qualify from that perspective. Do we have relationships? Yes, we do, because we're all part of that whole regional dynamic and energy, but we do not have a seat at the table. And as I mentioned earlier, my parents are from Antigua and Barbuda, and Antigua and Barbuda is a member of CARICOM. So from that perspective, you can get a lens into what's going on. You also can have some opportunity for input. Like for me, one of the things I've done recently is I launched an online TV show called The Fragility of Freedom, the two F's, and a companion podcast, Mindful Themes. What are we doing? We're looking at issues of power. We're looking at issues of influence. We're looking at issues of self-determination. We're looking at issues of culture, cultural change, internal and external environment, psychosocial health and wellness, the environment, circular economy. When we talk about these things, one of the underlying conversation necessarily has to be, and how do we finance this? How do we reinvent ourselves? How do we reimagine justice? How do we take us from where we are now to where we want to be? We already know where we've been. Well, that's even up for debate because that history has been distorted and reported in ways that are not necessarily accurate, transparent, or transformative. So even our history is just that, his story. The question is, and what are our versions of our own stories? So this is one of the ways that you find that work that I'm doing, work that you're doing, and others in this space where we're looking at transformational and sustainable change. These are the ways that we're going to start having these conversations and looking for linkages we can leverage. CARICOM right now, there's a lot of energy around youth, not just in CARICOM, but across the Caribbean basin. In Barbados, they just wrapped up yesterday a 3-day forum by UN Export, and its focus was on linkages, creating and sustaining socioeconomic linkages between the diaspora beginning in the Caribbean and Africa. So again, they're looking at the socioeconomics of it. I'm looking at it through the lens of the people who are engaging around entrepreneurship, looking at change. I still bring me to that table. And if I'm not well mentally, emotionally, if I'm still struggling with the post-slave traumatic depression, these kinds of issues, I'm still not completely equipped to do what I do it well and maintain. So I'm looking at it through this whole person focus, person first perspective as it relates to and how do we make policy. When we talk about reparations, what am I going to do with it if and when I get it? Am I still going to be that person who has no financial management or money management training or expertise, background, or grounding, who's going to squander it anyway because I don't know how to use it? I've never had it. Nobody that I know had it, or if I do know, they've distanced themselves from those of us who don't. So again, it's a multifaceted, interdisciplinary issue that I am doing my part to invest in and be a part of the solution. Sustainable change, transformative governance. When we talk about building wealth, I can't build wealth if I don't know how to manage money. I can't build wealth if I can't compete in the market. I can't build wealth if I don't understand the system of things. And so wealth is not only a money issue, wealth is also a me issue, a mental issue, an emotional issue, an educational issue. So that's my take on that, and I'd look forward to us having a deeper conversation, broader conversation about these intersectional topics, because I'm here to win it. I'm here to bring my A game. So that's it. That's all. Thank you.